Feminists are so far in denial that they will even attack measures to protect children against abuse and try and couch it in language that the legislation is against women's rights. So the feminists are trying to champion women's rights over child abuse. How despicable can you possibly be? How evil can you possibly be that you would try and champion women's rights over child abuse? Let's get into this. I'm going to read you this information and then go into this feminist trying to champion this as a women's rights issue and just see. So the crack is in the armor, the chink is in the armor, so you can open up the damn armor and see what a bunch of worms and blood and guts are hiding inside that is trying to champion other issues that you have just let them get away with. Yes, this is against feminism. For those women in my audience who call themselves feminists, you're not a feminist. You're a suffragist. That's what you are. What you don't understand is that a third wave has come and completely robbed and taken over the feminist movement and turned it into something vile, pernicious, evil. According to a Wisconsin bill, single moms are a child abuse threat. Point blank, period. Are single moms more apt to hurt their children? Two Republican legislators believe they are and have introduced legislation to raise awareness of the threat. As if it weren't hard enough already to be a single mom or dad, a new bill in Wisconsin associating single parenthood with child abuse, and it's more of a single mom thing. It is not a single dad thing. There are no stats that even associate child abuse with single fatherhood at all. None. Senate Bill 507 is sponsored by State Senate Glenn Grotham and State Republican Donald Pridemore, both Republicans. It takes the state-funded Child Abuse Prevention Board to task for not railing against single parenthood. Grothman described to Fox 6 Now that what he says is a direct association between abused kids and parents who aren't married. A child is 20 times more likely to be sexually abused if they're raised by, say, a mother and a boyfriend than their mother and father, Grothman said. Now, let me curate what he just said. I'm going to analyze just that one sentence. He was trying to be nice. Why? Because he was trying to appeal to females by saying, like a mother and a boyfriend. Why? Because if you introduce the word boyfriend in there, people are then going to jump to the conclusion that the abuse comes from the boyfriend and not the mother. The instance of child abuse is from single moms, period. Not boyfriends, not fly-by-night one-night stands. It's from the mom, period. That's what the case study and the data shows. According to the language of the bill, it aims to promote public awareness of the problems of child abuse and neglect. In promoting those campaigns and materials, the Child Abuse Prevention Board shall emphasize nonmarital parenthood as a contributing factor to child abuse and neglect. Now, remember what the senator said? 20 times more likely abuse from a single mom. The bill has outraged single parents everywhere, meaning single moms, including in Wisconsin, where they make up a third of all parents. Wisconsin doesn't have a whole bunch of black folks in it. And by I mean a whole bunch, I mean they don't have a whole bunch of black folks. They're not 13% of the population in Wisconsin. One of those parents, Lena Taylor, just happens to be a Democratic state senator and a single mom. She told Fox 6, which is stupid. Why would you pick somebody who is not even in touch with reality? She's a state senator. She could afford to run for state senator, win for state senate, and do her job as a state senator. I bet you her child was neglected anyway. Watch what she's going to say. I would say my life speaks against what the senator has stated. Democratic State Senator Lena Taylor of Milwaukee, who is a single mother, said, Taylor says this is the latest in a line of Republican-backed bills that are hostile toward women, not the abused children, the women, not 20 times more likely to be abused by a single mom. It's about women. They're trying to victimize women instead of the children. This is against women. No. Being a single parent is not ideal. You have all sorts of problems. Let me go over the data that I already know. The child is abused, 20 times more likely to be abused. The child is 75% more likely to end up as a criminal, period. Stop praising single people. It is not ideal. It is not a good thing. That's why I am fighting for black people to get married. I don't care who you get married to, get married. I don't care if he's fat. I don't care if he's skinny. I don't care if he acts gay. I don't care. Just get married. It friggin' solves so many quote unquote black problems just by getting married. This is exactly why I made all of those videos that said the MRA, the men going their own way, feminism, and the women's whatever lesbian thing, all do not apply to the black population at all, because we find all of that stuff and the issues that those groups are trying to say are issues with them are not issues with black people. If a black person gets married, a lot of the quote-unquote black problems disappear. Then I step in, so you can solve a lot of problems by just getting married as a black person. Then I step in and say, now we need to fiscally empower ourselves, financially empower ourselves. And here's how we're gonna do it. Now you can watch all of my videos about how we're gonna do it. Go back and watch all of my financial videos. I give you free advice, free solutions that you do not have to pay for, and you can join any of my little projects that I've already talked about in my videos. This is not a women's issue. This is a child abuse issue. Let's look at what the author continues to say. The legislation is just one more example of states seeking to erode women's rights and credibility. Everything from laws that all but mandate invasive vaginal ultrasound prior to abortion and bills that lift insurance coverage for contraception. So you don't want an ultrasound, really? Let's see. The rich married woman gets ultrasounds. She gets checkups. She has holistic, raw, organic vitamins that she takes while she's pregnant to ensure the health of the child. Mandating an ultrasound from a person who the state has to pay for, and the state wants to ensure that the child is not going to be a further burden on the taxpayer, is against women? No, we're looking out for our bottom line. If we have to pay for the mother, we definitely don't want to have to pay for the child. We want healthy children to be born. You're trying to play the victim because we want to give you prenatal care, and that's a bad thing? We're paying for the prenatal care anyway? I thought that's what you wanted. That's Obamacare is filled with a whole bunch of woman's pregnancy prenatal care crap that single men have to pay for. Single, unmarried, not a woman, man has to pay for your damn ultrasounds, your prenatal stuff, your contraception, your this, that, and your pill. I mean, it's ridiculous. That's unfair. And who got that put in? Women. This third wave. We think it's a good idea to have this in everybody's policy. So we're gonna have it covered, but everybody has to pay for it, including single men. And we're gonna mandate it for everybody. And get this one, the people that they were crying about, saying that, 1/6 of the population is uninsured. And then when you look at that 1/6 of the population, 80% of that 1/6 are rich people who pay for everything in cash. I'm one of them. I have always paid cash for everything that I've ever done in a hospital, with a doctor, with a dentist, with a gynecologist. That's a joke. I have paid cash for it. And that other 20% were too poor to get health insurance. Now, after Obamacare, guess what? The rich people still pay cash for their stuff. And that 20% that couldn't afford it still can't get it. For those of you who think you're poor and you got Obamacare and you got all these subsidies and you're saying that you have healthcare for the first time in your life, I guarantee you that if you had actually looked into it, you could have gotten healthcare before, and it actually would have been cheaper so that you wouldn't have need subsidies. But the people who were too poor to get it before have been untouched. They still cannot get it. Oh, you don't understand that? You think homeless people have Obamacare? And I'm just using that as an example. There are still the same exact people who couldn't get it before, can't get it now. And in fact, the uninsured, that number has increased and ballooned to 10 times what it was before. Why? Because people cannot afford Obamacare. But this feminist thinks that legislation to mandate ultrasounds is against women's rights. They don't want to talk about children's rights or unborn child rights. The unborn child has a right to live, has a right to be healthy, has a right to prenatal care. The prenatal care isn't for the woman. You think the prenatal care is for the woman? Prenatal care is not for the woman. It's for the unborn child. I know you're being used by the Illuminati, you just don't even want to admit it. One feminist described unborn children and pregnancy as a disease. Pregnancy as a disease that should be eradicated and cured. This is a major feminist on the national scene. Ladies, do not let these people speak for you. And all of the issues, these so-called issues that these feminists bring up, when you look into them, when you bring out hard facts and hard data and some common sense, like abused children has nothing to do with women's rights. You know, they deal on emotion. They deal on hyperbole. Oh, you're attacking women. We're not attacking women. We're attacking the people who are 20 times more likely to abuse children. You want to talk about coming home after work and plopping on the couch because you're so tired? Oh, men haven't gone through that? Really? And the men aren't abusing the children? Imagine that. I just stated to you that single parent dads, and that statistic is on the rise. The women are giving up the children to the dad, and the dads are taking them. So this whole, we have a lack of dads. When it comes to single parenthood, dads are on the rise and moms are on the decrease. And you still don't see child abuse from single parent dads. It's not a woman's issue, it's a child abuse issue. And anything where something is 20 times more likely and 75%, so that criminal single parent mom equals 75% more likely that your child becomes criminal. That's white or black. For all the racist people who watch me, that's white or black. And of course, there's going to be more whites because there are, 10 times more single parent white women than there are black people in total, the entire population. There's 10 times more single parent white moms than there are single parent black moms. So you're going to have that 10 times math be multiplied by 75%. Child growing up to be a criminal in the white population. Even with that, they still don't end up in the jail. Oh, but that's just a coincidence, right? Anyway, thank you for watching the Shakaama Live Show.